Up next, the combination of traditional and social media reaching new heights.
An hour of financial planning each weekday. The WBBM Noon Business Hour continues.
Last night had the potential to be an overwhelming experience. A Cubs game, the presidential debate, all the resulting social media interaction. Let's talk about it with Tim Hanlon, managing director of the consulting firm, the Vertere Group here in Chicago. Tim, let me say, last night I had the Cubs game on the TV. I had the debate on Facebook on my phone. And I'm guessing I'm not the only one who spent my night that way.
And you probably frightened everybody out of the house, Cisco. However,
wife and kids in a separate room.
Yeah, well, but that is the modern nature of what we in the industry have called for some time multitasking. And we can argue, and we've even debated a little bit in our previous conversations, whether people are truly capable of multitasking and staying engaged and truly being on top of what is being presented to them or the conversations around. But make no mistake, this is a modern media consumption phenomenon today that, frankly, is made available by Internet connectivity, et cetera, where various streams of television, really video, can be accessed simultaneously, frankly, in the months and years to come, more increasingly on one screen, where you can, make screens bigger and smaller and do it all on one platform versus having to do it the way you might have done it last night.
So it's happening. I mean, it's already here. Our media companies, whether they're social media companies, television, broadcasters, whatever, have they figured out how to monetize it to make it sustainable?
Well, I mean, that's a great question, and I think it's probably something that you could say is in process now, right? So the idea of live streaming and the like. I mean, you have to recognize, too, that the business of television has been about linear presentation of programming and people basically having to only watch it in those linear environments. What we have now, courtesy of technology on a number of different fronts, social included, is the ability for consumers at the end point to mix and match or recombine or remix, if you will, programming and content in ways that are more favorable and more alluring to them. And that's not necessarily in the traditional best business interests of the media companies historically.
Last night was the perfect night for Twitter. Twitter has been struggling with its advertising and eyes on it. But last night you could join a conversation, in-time conversation, about what you're watching right now at the Cubs or the debate.
And that's a great observation, Chris, because Twitter itself is trying to continue to figure out its business model going forward. And one of those models is to take that social interaction, that connection, that conversation, and then, frankly, embed that or evolve that into actual television or video provision. So we've hinted at this before in our previous conversations. Twitter is looking really to become its own video bundle, if you will. And as you probably saw, the ability to watch the live stream of the debate was available through the Twitter platform, as well as NFL football, as we talked about, too.
We have another story today, media story. Google and CBS are teaming up. Tell us about this.
So this is the march of the skinny bundles, shall we call them, right? So there's a long parade, Sling Media, Sony View, Xbox Live. Basically, YouTube is stepping up and saying that they, too, are now going to create a live stream bundle of channels called Unplugged, and not too dissimilar to what Apple TV and Hulu Live have been trying to do as well, trying to ensure that local broadcast TV signals and the major broadcast networks, CBS, NBC, et cetera, are available and part of the package. Interesting news yesterday was their announcement that, or the leak, that they made an agreement with CBS, right, which has CBS All Access and has been doing over-the-top video exploration for some time. But the fact that broadcast channels are important is not lost on YouTube, and they're doing the right thing by at least trying to ensure that that will be part of their basic package when they launch, probably first quarter of next year.
Tim Hanlon, always appreciate you joining us. Thanks for the insight. Tim is managing director of the consulting firm, the Vertere Group here in Chicago. Coming up next, Bloomberg checks the markets.